All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, thorniest problems in all of artificial intelligence. And that problem is trust. Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating new economic model that's designed to build that trust right from the very beginning. Let's get into it. You've probably heard some version of this before, right? And it's so true. This one idea is basically the Achilles heel for the entire AI industry. I mean, think about it. Every single incredible AI model you see, every chatbot, every image generator, it's all built on a massive foundation of data. And if that foundation is shaky or biased or just flat out wrong, well, the whole thing just crumbles. And that really is the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? How can we actually be sure that the information we're feeding into these incredibly powerful systems is accurate and reliable and, trustworthy? Well, the system we're looking at today has a pretty compelling answer. So here's the dilemma. Bad data, it's like a poison. It can sneak in, introduce all sorts of errors, and totally undermine what an AI is supposed to do. And the simple truth is, getting high-quality real-world data requires a real-world commitment from the people who are actually providing it. And this is where a project called XNY from CoData comes into the picture. Now, this isn't just another data platform. It's a completely new system built from the ground up to solve this whole data mess by literally changing the rules of the game. And the way it does this is by creating something they call a staked economy. The best way to think about this is, well, it's less about technology and more of a whole new economic model. And it's all built on a very powerful, very old idea: accountability. Okay, so this slide really shows the huge shift in thinking. You've got the old way, where pretty much anyone can participate for free, and you just kind of have to hope you can trust them. But the staked way completely flips that on its head. Here, you have to earn the right to participate, and trust isn't just claimed, it's backed up with cold, hard cash. Let's break that down. The first big rule is that you can't just show up and start contributing data. It's not a free-for-all. You actually have to prove your value and your commitment to even get in the door. It's a way to filter out the lazy or malicious people right from the start. The second rule is all about creating value. In this system, you don't just get handed ownership or influence. You have to create it or mint it by doing valuable things for the network. Your good work literally generates your stake in the whole system. And this is the most important part. Instead of just saying, hey, trust me, my data is good, contributors have to actually put their own assets on the line to back up that claim. They literally have to put their money where their mouth is. And that, my friends, is what we call having skin in the game. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this all actually work? I mean, how does this staked economy thing really make sure the data is better? Let's get into the mechanics. At the very heart of this entire system is this one concept: skin in the game. It's basically a giant incentive system where everyone has a direct financial stake in the quality of their work. If your data is good, you get rewarded. If your data is bad, you stand to lose your stake. It's brilliant, really. It just aligns everybody's goals toward honesty and quality. So the whole process is built around this idea of accountability. First, a client comes in and funds a task. Then, contributors submit their data, but, and here's the magic step, they have to stake their own capital to vouch for it. After the system verifies everything, the honest people get rewarded, and anyone who tried to cheat the system loses their stake. It's a beautiful, self-correcting loop. And if you're the client, the reason to do this is crystal clear. You're not just throwing money out there and hoping for the best. You are paying for access to a system that is specifically designed from the ground up to produce high-quality, verified data. Sure, access costs money, but that cost is what guarantees the quality. Okay, so we've got clients who need good data and contributors who are paid to provide it. But who's actually in charge here? Who's making the rules for how this thing evolves? Well, that brings us to the final piece of this puzzle. So instead of some single company calling all the shots, the control here is decentralized. It's spread out among every single person who holds the XNY token. What that means is the actual participants, the people who are building and using this network, are the ones who get to vote on its future. They decide, together, how the whole thing grows. So when you put all these pieces together, the earned participation, the minted ownership, and that all-important staked trust, you end up with something way bigger than just a data platform. You get what could be a blueprint for the future of trust itself. Remember how we started with that idea that AI is only as good as its data? Well, this system's answer to that is that real, truly valuable data can only come from real, verifiable commitment. You can't just wish for quality. You have to build a system that economically demands it. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. By making sure everyone has skin in the game, the system lines up everybody's interest towards a single common goal, creating a rock-solid foundation of high-quality, verified, and trustworthy data for the future of AI. And that kind of leaves us with a really fascinating final thought, doesn't it? This whole model of staking value to prove you're trustworthy. That's not just for AI data. If we can build a system of verifiable trust for data, what other parts of our digital world could we fix by giving people real skin in the game? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.